Do you know Germany? Perhaps you have already heard of the Rhine, its romance, its citadels and castles, wine and cheerfulness, songs and music. Of historical monuments, cathedrals and churches. Of ancient towns and ruins. Of medieval buildings and people living in those times. Poets, philosophers, musicians. Have you heard about our modern research, of new scientific knowledge, of collaboration between our scientists and scientists from your country and from all over the world? Perhaps you know something about our industrial production, our share in world economy, about our large factories, of the Ruhr, its mines and chimneys, where they work day and night, and where ghostly torches brighten the night. Our recovery after 1945 was difficult and protracted. Large new factories were built. Our chemical industry continuously develops new products and provides a large slice of world trade. It produces, for example, chemical fertilizers also for export. Does the name Hamburg mean anything to you? Our door to the world. Products from your country arrive here, and goods are shipped from here for your requirements. Our economy has made great strides. Business contacts are maintained with all parts of the world. New homes are provided for a population which has increased by 17 million since 1945. And satellite towns have been built. Modern shops offer everything that makes life easier. And urban motor roads connect outer areas with centers of population, and join together a widely ramified network of long-distance roads. We have in common with our neighbors a very progressive agricultural industry. As a source of food supplies, it has by no means lost its importance within the modern industrial state. Wherever our way leads us, fields, grass, meadows and forests dominate the scenery. North German coastland. Its wetness necessitates the cultivation of grass. On the moorland, there are the light and medium soils of the North German lowlands. Old farms and buildings of many decades. We also have well-planned new buildings in many districts. Further south, we have areas with very good soils which produce high yields of cereal and root crops. In the low ranges of mountains, soil and climate favor the growing of grass and breeding of cattle. Each district has its typical farms and its typical character. We are anxious to preserve these characteristic features when farms are modernized. There you can see how here, in the Black Forest, new buildings are adapted to harmonize with the old style. In the south, the Alps impose their character on the landscape. All upland farmers have large areas of forest. Grassland cultivation and dairy farming predominate here. Utilization of land in Germany is as follows. For agriculture, 57%. For forests, 29%. 14% for towns, industries and roads. Before the division of Germany, 70 million people lived in an area of 47 million hectares. Today, 58 million live in an area of 25 million hectares in the Federal Republic. This means that prior to the division, 24 people lived within a cultivated area of 10 hectares. Today, their number is 41. Compared with past decades, productivity and production have increased considerably. 8 years ago, a farmer fed 4 people. Today, he feeds 24. Nowadays, less people produce more. Thus, since 1950, the number of farms has been reduced from 2 millions to 1.4 millions. About 500,000 of these farms, mainly family farms, cultivate 3/4 of the total cultivated area. Out of a total working population of 27.2 millions, 2.9 millions are engaged in agriculture and forestry, i.e., approximately 11%. The sales of our agriculture in terms of financial income are about 27 milliard marks, German milliards, of course. Of this, animal products account for 75%, vegetable products for 25%. Our own production covers our food consumption to the extent of 2/3. The remaining third is imported. This requires 18 milliard marks, split up as follows. Vegetable products are mainly citrus fruits, cereals and oilseeds, 70%. Animal products are mainly meat, cheese and eggs, 30% of which includes luxuries such as wine, spirits, etc. But we also export farm and food products to the value of about 2 milliard marks. The modern farmer receives practical instruction at a training farm and theoretical instruction at an agricultural college. He is a technician and a businessman at the same time. He needs permanent contact with advisory services, private consultants, literature publications, films, radio and television offer him a wealth of information. 740 training establishments are available for technical and in-service training. Research and training are a joint responsibility of our agricultural, veterinary, horticultural and forestry universities or high schools. Exclusively concerned with research are the Max Planck Institutes, the federal and provincial research institutes and numerous research institutions sponsored by private industry. Many thousands of specialists work in this widely diversified scientific field and cover the numerous problems of progress which arise in agriculture and forestry. Demonstrations, training courses and lectures convey the latest knowledge. Every farmer must have the best facilities to achieve a rational economy. Women and girls also have numerous opportunities for training. But don't imagine that our farmers have no worries. They are faced with many difficult problems in their struggle for survival. Here are a few examples. Improvement of agrarian structure. Many areas suffer from problems arising from the way in which the land is divided. Scattered holdings, narrow and bad roads, inadequate buildings, farm buildings crammed into small areas. Such deficiencies can make cultivation difficult and so expensive that farming can become unprofitable. They are remedied with the assistance of the federal government and the provinces by unification of fragmented holdings and other measures such as improvements in irrigation. Construction of new roads. Bringing together fragmented properties, afforestation of wasteland, reconstruction and amalgamation of old-fashioned buildings. These holdings are at first without trees or shrubs. Well-planned layouts save labor and unnecessary movements. The farmer's house is built in such a way that the family is comfortable and the farmer's wife has less work to do. Sunday afternoon on the farm. The living standard of the rural family has improved. Incomes are higher because of planned economy. After a hard day's work, a few hours of relaxation are welcome. Life on the land differs from that in town only due to the difference in occupation. Further very expensive measures are building and mechanization. The state provides loans at reduced rates of interest for measures concerned with rationalization and reorganization. Work inside and outside the buildings is being increasingly mechanized. Particular importance is attached to adequate and balanced use of fertilizers. Machines which combine several processes save labor. Most of the work is done by machine, as in this picture showing the planting of potatoes and their subsequent cultivation. Pest control is as important in our country as anywhere else in the world. Apart from plant protection, cultivation and manuring, plants need water at the right time. The average rainfall is 800 millimeters, the extremes being 500 and 2,000. Artificial irrigation is necessary with many crops and in many areas. The excellent quality of our variety of plants and seeds is fully exploited by these measures. A wide choice of good machinery is available for harvesting. A forage harvester for harvesting forage crops. Haymaking is also fully mechanized on many farms. Most of the corn is harvested by combine harvesters. More and more farmers use combine harvesters and many other machines on a communal basis, so that the capacity of the machines is more fully exploited. Thus, potato crops are often handled by contractors or machine syndicates. The cultivation of sugar beet is nowadays scarcely imaginable without machinery for cultivation and harvesting. German sugar beet and potato varieties play a leading part in world production of these crops. Mechanization is also used in harvesting and grading of fruit, vegetables and special crops. Farmers voluntarily combine to form cooperatives. In this way, they are in a stronger position to offer their customers products of uniform quality. On the slopes of the Rhine and its tributaries, where cultivation is difficult, grapes for wine are grown. Rhine wine is greatly appreciated all over the world. Vine growers' cooperatives cultivate the grapes and market the wine in many areas. Tobacco and hops are special crops. They require much labor, especially hops, which apart from malting barley, is the raw material for our beer, which is so popular in every part of the world. The combination of science, advisory service and practice leads to ever-increasing yields in our country also. Cereal yields have increased by 60 to 90% since the turn of the century. For example, from 1935, they increased from 2 tons per hectare to 3.1 tons per hectare. The greatest increase in yield was found in potato crops, where there was a rise from 16.8 tons per hectare to 25.3 tons per hectare. With sugar beet, the already high yield of 32.7 tons could be raised to 37.6 tons. In the animal products industry, intensification has led to the setting up of special establishments whose work is concerned with breeding and production. Approximately 3/4 of the area devoted to agriculture are used for the production of meat, milk, eggs, etc. Total figures are 14 million cattle, 17 million pigs, over 77 million chickens, only 400,000 horses, 800,000 sheep. Breeding of all types of livestock is in the hands of private breed organizations. Improved breeding and feeding achieve a constant increase in milk yield. Thus, the annual milk yield of cows could be on average increased from approximately 2,500 kilograms to 3,500 kilograms. The average butterfat content rose from 3.4 to 3.8%, whilst the meat yield per cow rose from 111 to 149 kilograms on average. The state also takes an active interest in animal breeding. In accordance with the Animal Breeding Act, all bulls, boars, rams and billy goats must be inspected. A public health service controls the health of animals. Artificial insemination contributes to increases in yield. Improved breeding bulls are available at insemination stations. Approximately half of the cows are artificially inseminated. Sperm is examined in the laboratories of the artificial insemination stations. The breeding stocks are mainly sold on sales organized by breeding societies. The predominant breeds of cattle are German black and white, German red and white, Spotted Mountain and German yellow, German brown. The average yield of all milk recorded cows is 4,500 kilograms milk containing about 4% butterfat. Top grade cows reach annual yields of 10,000 kilograms or more. Milk recording has contributed considerably to this increase in yield. 35% of all cows are milk recorded. An open-air milk stand. An indoor milk stand. Release-type milk installation in tying stall. Requirements in respect of quality and hygiene are continually raised. Milk is cooled as quickly as possible in a cooling chamber. Most milk is collected and distributed by dairy cooperatives. But agricultural cooperatives, with their tradition of over 100 years standing, also play a part in other fields of trading, utilization and sale of goods, including the provision of money and credit. Dairy cooperatives have often been amalgamated to form sales cooperatives, which represent equal competitors to the wholesale trade. Here is an example. A dairy in Schleswig. It collects the milk from a very large area. Milk is supplied in disposable packages. Most of the milk is made into butter. Our production of cheese offers a wide choice of hard and soft cheeses to suit every taste. Here again, portions are packed under hygienic conditions. Pork occupies the chief place in meat consumption. Breeding aims at prolific, good food-converting, lean pigs. Stations have been set up in all federal states for testing fattening capacity and carcass yield. 4 pigs from each litter are tested for efficiency of food conversion and meat yield. The proportions of meat and fat are measured here on the cutlet. The results are evaluated to find the best breed. Such qualities of the commercial grade extra are provided in regular quantities by widespread voluntary cooperation among the producers. For sales in supermarkets, meat is cut into portions as required by the consumer. Pork consumption is high. We do like our sausages. German sausages are also very popular abroad. Poultry breeders have frequently increased egg production to form special units where several thousand of laying hens are kept. The keeping of small poultry units is declining. For example, eggs and poultry amounted to a production figure of 2.35 milliard marks in 1965. The average layer production could be doubled within 15 years through breeding, feeding and management. Every German eats approximately 260 eggs per year. 90% of this consumption is covered by home production. On the other hand, until now, we produce only 40% of our poultry meat requirements. Large poultry packing stations deal with the production and market them according to commercial grades. Horse numbers have declined by 2/3 over the past 20 years. The tractor has replaced the working horse. Horse riding as a sport, however, gains an increasing number of friends and followers in town and country. Sheep breeding has also been reduced by 1/3 within the same space of time. They were bred for meat production. Our purebred sheep are very much in demand abroad. Our agriculture is linked economically with other countries. 6 European countries have already united in the EEC. Cooperation with the 7 EFTA countries is growing. Goods are increasingly exchanged with other European and overseas countries. Our agriculture is using more rational methods in production and marketing. Supported by the market economy promoting measures of the federal government and the states, it is preparing itself for ever-increasing competition. Standards relating to variety and quality of goods are being raised. our farmers compare their products with those of foreign countries, as here at the International Exhibition in Berlin, Grüne Woche, which means Green Week. Such exhibitions are of interest to the consumer, and the farmer compares his products with those from abroad. German agriculture is ready for competition. It will maintain its place on the German market of 60 million and common market of 180 million.